what can I do to help the economy work for more people? How can I use what I know to help more people I care about, for more economic justice? And so for me, that has come to helping female founders of B2B services businesses understand the wealth that's in their businesses. And a lot of us, myself included, like we sell our expertise, but we aren't actually understanding the assets that are in our business. The assets in a service-based business are intellectual. Now I work with female founders to help them identify those assets in their business, make sure that they are actually building those assets. And so that at the end of the day, when they've had a wonderful career and they're ready to do something different, that they have something that they can sell. And so that next challenge is funded by what they've been doing all these years. Over the last 30 years, the value in the marketplace from manufacturing, where mostly value was in equipment and buildings and things like that, whereas now 80 to 90% of the value in the SP 100 is all intellectual. There should not be any business anymore who doesn't get how important their intellectual assets are. The B2B services business, they think, well, I sell my time, I get a good income from it, but they're not thinking about what the assets are in their business. And if you're not conscious of and building assets, then when you're done, you just fold up shop instead of having something that you can sell. Definitely, as soon as you understand who you are and who you serve, that's the time you should be thinking about making sure you are developing assets, because you cannot protect an intellectual asset retroactively. And you need to make sure that you are protecting it on the front end as you're creating it. The longer you wait, the more assets are lost, basically. A good example is a marketing consultant. He specialized in doing web design. So he had used a subcontractor to help him with some graphics. So his client, at the end of it, great, love it, make sure you sign over 100% of the rights, but he couldn't do that because he did not have an agreement in place with the subcontractor. And so if you do not have a written agreement in place, and the subcontractor actually owns that graphic, you don't, the subcontractor does. Could you go back and clean it up? You could, but sometimes they're like, well, no, when I did it, I priced it to own it, or I used some pre-existing materials that I had to create it. And so it's not original and you don't own all the rights, and there's no way to clean that up. People think that intellectual property is about those big things, that it's about the movies and the books and the software and things like that. But when we're experts, intellectual property is everywhere. Whenever we're using our intellect, we are creating intellectual property. And so we should not make the mistake that we don't have some valuable intellectual property that we need to be thinking about strategically to make sure that we're owning it, controlling it, and therefore we can use it to drive value in our businesses.